There are specific indicators that tell you when you're in that compressed space right before a major breakthrough. Once you learn to recognize these signs, you'll never again mistake pre-breakthrough compression for failure or stagnation. Breakthrough often requires being seen and acknowledged by others who can recognize and mirror back the changes you're experiencing. Without witnesses to your transformation, it's easy to doubt whether it's real or lasting. It's still possible, but very difficult. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott. And today's episode is the breakthrough you've been waiting for is closer than you think. There's a moment right before every major breakthrough when everything feels impossible. Maybe that's what you're going through right now. You've been working on something for months, maybe years. You've tried every technique, every approach, every piece of advice you can find, and yet the thing you want most feels further away than ever. I'm talking to you right now. If you've been feeling like you're on the verge of something massive, but you just can't seem to break through the final barrier, if you've been sensing that your life is about to change dramatically, but you can't quite access that new version of yourself, if you've been getting signs, synchronicities, and downloads that something big is coming, but it feels like it's taking forever to arrive. This is very common. I hear this all the time. Here's what I've discovered after 2 decades of studying transformation. That feeling of being almost there is not frustration. It's not a sign that you're failing or doing something wrong. It's actually the most reliable indicator that you're closer to a breakthrough than you've ever been. Today I want to show you exactly why that breakthrough feels so close, yet so far away. What's really happening in that space between where you are and where you're going. And most importantly, how to finally close that gap and step into the transformation that you've been waiting for. Most people completely misunderstand what a breakthrough actually is. They think it's a sudden, random event that happens to lucky people. They imagine it as a lightning bolt moment where everything suddenly clicks and life becomes effortless. But that's not how breakthroughs work. Breakthroughs are the result of a very specific process that's been building momentum beneath the surface, often for much longer than you realize. Understanding this process is the key to accelerating it and finally experiencing the transformation that you've been waiting for. Every breakthrough follows a compression cycle. Imagine a spring being compressed more and more tightly. The more pressure you apply, the more potential energy builds up inside. And then, at the moment of release, all that stored energy explodes outward with tremendous force. Your consciousness works the same way. When you're working on transformation, when you're doing the inner work, when you're consistently applying the techniques and practices I am teaching, you're not just trying to create change, you're building compression in your consciousness field. This is why the period right before a breakthrough often feels so intense and challenging. You're not moving backward. You're not failing. You're in the compression phase, where all the work you've been doing is building up tremendous potential energy that's about to be released as a quantum leap in your life. I see this pattern repeatedly all the time with people who work with my timeline shifting and future self integration and quantum jumping techniques. They'll practice consistently for weeks or months, making a gradual progress, integrating small shifts, and then they hit what feels like a wall. They feel stuck, frustrated, like nothing is working anymore. But what's actually happening is that they've reached the maximum compression point. all the work they've been doing has created so much potential energy in their consciousness field that they're on the verge of a massive breakthrough. They just don't recognize it because they're focused on the discomfort of the compression rather than the potential of the release. This is why so many people give up right before their breakthrough. They interpret the intensity of the compression phase as evidence that they're on the wrong track. They think the difficulty means they should try something different. But actually, the difficulty is proof that they're exactly where they need to be. The key is learning to recognize the signs that you're in this pre-breakthrough space and understanding what is needed to complete the cycle and experience the release. There are specific indicators that tell you when you're in that compressed space right before a major breakthrough. Once you learn to recognize these signs, you'll never again mistake pre-breakthrough compression for failure or stagnation. The first sign is reality resistance. Everything in your external world seems to be pushing back against the changes you're trying to make. Old patterns resurface more intensely than ever. People in your life start acting strange or resistant. Unexpected obstacles appear seemingly out of nowhere. This isn't the universe telling you to give up. This is your current reality fighting to maintain itself as your consciousness prepares to shift to a new timeline. The second sign is identity dissolution. You start feeling like you don't know who you are anymore. Your old interests, relationships, and ways of being no longer feel authentic, but you haven't yet stepped into the new version of yourself. This liminal space feels uncomfortable, but it's actually evidence that your identity is reorganizing itself around a higher level of consciousness. The third sign is future self bleeding through. You start having dreams, visions, or intuitive hits about versions of yourself that seem impossibly advanced. You catch glimpses of capabilities, relationships, or life circumstances that feel simultaneously foreign and deeply familiar. This isn't wishful thinking. This is your future self attempting to integrate with your current consciousness. The fourth sign is synchronicity intensification. Meaningful coincidences start happening more frequently and more dramatically. You see repeated numbers, encounter the same messages from multiple sources, or have experiences that feel orchestrated by some invisible intelligence. This indicates that your consciousness is beginning to synchronize with higher timeline frequencies. The fifth sign is emotional volatility. Your emotions become more intense and unpredictable. You might feel euphoric one moment and deeply sad the next, often without clear external triggers. This is not any sort of mental instability. This is emotional energy that's been stuck in your system, finally moving out as your consciousness prepares to shift. The sixth sign is physical symptoms of transformation. You might experience changes in your sleep patterns, energy levels, or physical sensations. Some people report tingling, pressure in their head, waves of energy moving through their body, hot flashes. These are often signs that your nervous system is rewiring itself to accommodate expanding consciousness. The seventh sign is often time distortion. Time starts feeling strange. Days feel like weeks, or weeks feel like days. You might lose track of time during meditation or feel like you're living multiple timelines simultaneously. This suggests that your consciousness is beginning to operate beyond the linear time constraints of your current reality. If you're experiencing several of these signs, especially if they've been intensifying recently, you're not stuck, you're not failing, you're in the final compression phase before a major breakthrough. The question is, what do you need to complete the cycle and experience the release? Here's something most people don't understand about timing. Breakthroughs don't happen randomly. They happen when specific conditions are met, and those conditions are often more within your control than you realize. The first condition is consciousness saturation. You need to reach a point where you've absorbed enough new information, done enough inner work, and integrated enough shifts that your consciousness field becomes saturated with potential. This is like filling a container with water until it's completely full and one more drop causes it to overflow. Most people never reach saturation because they're constantly switching techniques, looking for the next method, or giving up before they fully explored what they're already working with. They keep their consciousness field only partially filled instead of committing to the depth of work required for saturation. The second condition is environmental alignment. Your external environment needs to support the breakthrough you're trying to create. This doesn't mean everything has to be perfect, but there needs to be space for the new version of yourself to emerge. Sometimes this means changing your physical environment. Sometimes it means shifting the people you spend time with, and sometimes it means creating dedicated time and space for transformation. Many people try to create breakthroughs while maintaining all their current commitments, relationships, and environments. But breakthrough requires space for emergence. If your current life is completely full of the old patterns, there's no room for the new patterns to establish themselves. The third condition is energetic coherence. Your heart, mind, and body need to be aligned around the transformation you're seeking. Often people want to change mentally, but their emotions are attached to the familiar, and their body is comfortable with current patterns. Breakthrough requires getting all aspects of yourself moving in the same direction. This is where most solo transformation work hits its limits. When you're working alone, it's difficult to achieve the level of coherence needed for major breakthroughs. Your habitual patterns, your environment, and your social connections are all pulling you back toward homeostasis. The fourth condition is catalytic intensity. Sometimes breakthroughs require a level of focus and intensity that's difficult to create in normal daily life. This is why people often experience major shifts during retreats, workshops, or other intensive experiences. The concentrated focus and energy creates conditions that allow breakthrough to occur. I've talked to so many people that have been to Abraham workshops and Dr. Joe Dispenza workshops, Tony Robbins workshops, where suddenly they have this huge breakthrough. Why is that? I learned this lesson the hard way in my own journey. For years, I was doing consistent inner work, practicing timeline shifting regularly, making gradual progress, utilizing meditation and manifestation techniques. But I wasn't experiencing the quantum leaps I knew were possible, that I had experienced in the past. I was staying safely within my comfort zone, working alone, maintaining all my current patterns while trying to create change around the edges. The breakthrough came when I committed to an intensive experience. I created space in my life, removed distractions, and focused completely on transformation for several days. The results were immediate and dramatic. I accessed versions of myself I hadn't been able to reach through years of casual practice. They became clear and vivid to me, and the shift was easy and effortless. That experience taught me that breakthroughs often require stepping outside your normal patterns and creating optimal conditions for transformation. Sometimes you need to invest in intensive focus, expert guidance, and supportive community to reach the saturation point that allows breakthrough to occur. After working with thousands of people who are seeking breakthroughs, I've identified several missing pieces that prevent people from completing the breakthrough cycle, even when they're doing everything else right. The first missing piece is witness consciousness. Many people try to transform alone, which means there's no external reflection of their growth. The world is a mirror, and they need that reflection. Breakthrough often requires being seen and acknowledged by others who can recognize and mirror back the changes you're experiencing. Without witnesses to your transformation, it's easy to doubt whether it's real or lasting. It's still possible, but very difficult. The second missing piece is expert guidance through the process. Breakthrough can be disorienting and overwhelming. Having someone who understands the process, who can help you interpret what's happening and guide you through the challenging phases, makes the difference between breakthroughs and breakdowns. That's why people get coaches. That's why people go to retreats and events. I've seen too many people reach the compression phase and then back away because they didn't understand what was happening, or reality started resisting. They interpret the intensity as a sign something was wrong, rather than recognizing it as evidence that a breakthrough was imminent. The third missing piece is integration support. Even when people achieve breakthrough experiences, they often struggle to integrate them into their daily lives. The new version of yourself needs time and support to stabilize. Without proper integration, breakthrough experiences can feel like temporary highs that fade back into old patterns. The fourth missing piece is energetic container. Transformation happens more easily in certain energetic environments. When you're surrounded by people who are also focused on growth, when you're in a space that's dedicated to transformation, when you're free from the energetic pull of your normal patterns, breakthrough becomes much more accessible. Most people try to create breakthroughs while maintaining all their current energetic commitments. They're still managing their normal responsibilities, dealing with the same relationship dynamics, living in the same spaces which are filled with the same energies. This makes transformation exponentially more difficult because you're working against the inertia of your current reality. The fifth missing piece is commitment to the process. Real breakthrough requires a level of commitment that goes beyond casual interest. It means being willing to step outside your comfort zone, to be vulnerable, to allow parts of your identity to dissolve so that new parts can emerge. Many people want the results of breakthroughs without the intensity of the process. They want transformation that doesn't require them to change, growth that doesn't involve discomfort, evolution that doesn't disrupt their current life. But breakthrough, by definition, means breaking through the limitations of your current patterns. So how do you create the optimal conditions for the breakthrough you've been waiting for? How do you move from the compression phase into the release phase and finally experience the transformation you know is possible? First, you need to commit to saturation. Instead of constantly switching techniques or looking for the next method, because most of them work, choose the approach that resonates most deeply with you and go all the way with them. If timeline shifting has been calling you, don't just dabble with it, immerse yourself completely. If future self-integration resonates, make it a central practice rather than something you do occasionally. If it's visualization or manifestation, then go all out with it. Breakthrough requires depth rather than breadth. It's better to fully explore one transformational approach than to superficially experiment with money. I learned this the hard way. You can follow my channel. At the beginning, I was sharing every kind of technique, which only muddled the process. Second, you need to create space for emergence. Look at your current life and ask yourself honestly, where's the room for a new version of yourself to emerge? If your schedule is completely full, if your relationships are all based on your current identity, if your environment is entirely organized around your current patterns, then there's no space for transformation. This might mean temporarily stepping back from certain commitments, having honest conversations with people about the changes you're going through, or creating physical space that's dedicated to your growth. Third, you need to seek out energetic environments that support transformation. This could be workshops, retreats, masterminds, or any gathering where people are focused on growth and evolution. The key is being around others who are also in breakthrough phases, who can normalize and support the intensity of transformation. When you're surrounded by people who are also expanding their consciousness, who understand the breakthrough process, who can witness and celebrate your growth, transformation becomes exponentially easier. Fourth, you need expert guidance through the process. Someone who has navigated their own breakthroughs and helped others through theirs can provide the roadmap and support you need to complete the cycle successfully. This is why I become so passionate about creating intensive transformation experiences live, because I've seeing how dramatically people can shift when all these optimal conditions are present simultaneously. That's what led me to design what I'm calling the most transformational event I've ever created. We're gathering in Los Angeles from November 21st through the 23rd to create the perfect conditions for the breakthroughs that so many people have been waiting for. This is not just another workshop where you learn techniques and then go home to figure out how to apply them. This is an intensive experience specifically designed to move you through the complete breakthrough cycle, from compression to release to integration. We're bringing together everyone who's been feeling on the verge of something major but hasn't been able to break through the final barrier. People who've been doing the work but haven't been able to achieve the quantum leap they know is possible. My friends Kyle and Leah from the Heart Coherence Collaborative will be there to help create the energetic coherence that makes breakthroughs possible. When your nervous system is in coherence, when your heart and mind are aligned, transformation happens much more easily and with much less resistance. Fortunately, tickets are still available for this event. You can find the link in the comments. It's at www.brianscottlive.com/event-November. But here's what makes this gathering so powerful for breakthroughs. We're creating all the optimal conditions simultaneously. Concentrated focus for 3 full days, expert guidance through the process, energetic container with like-minded people, witness consciousness from others who understand transformation, integration support to help you anchor the changes. Most importantly, we're creating space completely separate from your normal patterns and environments. For 3 days, you step outside the energetic pole of your current reality and into a field that's specifically designed to support the emergence of your highest potential. And before we finish today, I want to give you a direct experience of what breakthrough energy feels like, so you can recognize when you're moving from compression into release. Find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Take a deep breath and feel yourself settling into this moment, into your body, into the space where transformation is always available. Do you feel that? First, I want you to feel into the compression that you've been experiencing. Think about the area of your life where you've been wanting a breakthrough. Feel the intensity, the pressure, the sense of being on the verge, but not quite there. Don't resist this feeling. Actually lean into it and recognize it for what it is. Potential energy building up before release. Now imagine that you can visualize this compression as a spring that's been wound tighter and tighter. Feel all the work you've been doing, all the growth you've been experiencing, all the healing and expansion as turns of the spring. Each practice, each meditation, each insight, each moment of growth has added another turn, building more and more potential kinetic energy within you. Feel how much energy has been stored in this spring, how ready it is for release. It's not stagnation, it's preparation. This is the moment right before the breakthrough. Now imagine that you have access to the optimal conditions for breakthrough. You're surrounded by people who understand transformation, guided by experts who can support you through the process, held in an energetic container that makes change safe and possible. Feel yourself giving permission for the spring to release. Feel all that stored energy beginning to move, beginning to expand, beginning to transform into new possibilities for your life. As this energy releases, feel yourself connecting with that version of yourself that exists on the other side of breakthrough. This is the you that has already experienced the transformation you've been waiting for. They're not some distant future self. They're the you that emerges when the compression finally releases. Feel their presence with you now. Feel their confidence, their joy, their sense of freedom and possibility, their relief. Notice how different they feel from your current sense of self, but also how familiar they are. Like coming home to who you've always known you could be. Allow this breakthrough version of yourself to begin integrating with your current consciousness. Feel their energy, their perspective, their way of being in the world. Notice that this isn't just about changing your circumstances. This is about becoming someone who naturally experiences the life you've been wanting. From this integrated space, set a clear intention for your breakthrough to complete itself. Feel yourself choosing to create the optimal conditions to seek the support you need to commit fully to the process rather than holding back. Now feel yourself supported not just by your own intention, but by everyone else who is seeking breakthrough, everyone who understands the transformation is possible, everyone who is willing to step outside their comfort zone to become who they're meant to be. Take a moment to anchor this breakthrough energy in your body. Feel how different you are after connecting with this possibility. Feel the shift from compression to expansion, from potential to actualization. When you're ready, take a deep breath and gently open your eyes, bringing this breakthrough energy back into your normal awareness. Now that you've connected with your breakthrough energy, I want to give you some powerful affirmations that will help you maintain this frequency and continue moving toward your transformation. These are energetic declarations that align your consciousness with breakthrough reality. Say these with me. As I speak these affirmations, feel free to repeat them either out loud or silently. More importantly, feel them as truth in your body. Let them resonate through every cell of your being. My breakthrough is not coming someday. My breakthrough is happening now. I release the need to control how my transformation unfolds. I trust the process that is already in motion. The pressure I feel is potential energy building for my quantum leap. I welcome this compression as preparation for expansion. I am ready to step outside my comfort zone and into my breakthrough. The version of myself I've been seeking already exists within me. I give myself permission to become who I truly am. Everything I need is coming to me now. I am free to create a completely new reality. I follow the call of my highest self. The obstacles in my path are stepping stones to my breakthrough. My breakthrough is perfect. Everything is aligning for my highest good. I invest my energy, attention, and resources in my growth. I am not alone in my transformation. I am supported by seen and unseen forces that want me to succeed. My breakthrough is inevitable. Now take a deep breath and feel these affirmations settling into your consciousness, into your energy field, into every aspect of your being. Carry this breakthrough frequency with you as you move through your day, your week, your life. What you just experienced is always available to you. That breakthrough version of yourself is not some distant possibility. They exist right now in the quantum field of your potential, waiting for you to create the conditions that allow them to emerge. But here's what I've learned after decades of transformation work. While breakthrough is always possible, it's not always easy to access alone. Sometimes you need the concentrated focus of an intensive experience. Sometimes you need expert guidance. Sometimes you need the energetic support of others who are also committed to transformation. Many of those are right here, right now, in the Reality Revolution. You can find them in chat in the comments on this video. You can reach out and connect on our Facebook group, on our Reddit group, on our Discord group. The compression you've been feeling is not punishment. It's preparation. All the work you've been doing, all the growth you've been experiencing has been building toward this moment. You're closer to a breakthrough than you've ever been. The question is, what do you need to complete the cycle? What support, what environment, what level of commitment will allow you to finally release all that stored potential energy and step into the transformation you've been waiting for? If you've been feeling like you're ready for something more intensive, if you want to experience what breakthrough looks like when all the optimal conditions are present, I invite you to join us in Los Angeles. This gathering isn't for everyone. It's specifically for people who are ready to stop preparing for transformation and actually experiencing it. You can find all the details at www.brianscotlive.com/event-november. The link is in the description. But whether you join us there or create breakthrough conditions in your own way, please don't give up right before you release. The pressure you're feeling is not evidence that you're on the wrong track. It's proof that you're exactly where you need to be. Your breakthrough is not coming someday, it's coming now. It's been building momentum this entire time, and it's closer than you think. All you need to do is stop trying to manage it from the outside and create the conditions that allow it to emerge from within. The version of yourself that exists on the other side of breakthrough is not just waiting for you. They're calling to you, drawing you forward, helping orchestrate the circumstances that will allow you to finally meet them. Your breakthrough is not a destination, it's a return. It's coming home to who you've always been underneath all the limitations and conditioning, and that home is closer than you think. The spring is wound, the energy is ready. All that's needed now is the courage to let it release. I will see you on the other side of the breakthrough, and hopefully I get to see you in person. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. Be sure to check out my art. You can find it at www.newearth.art. You can find more information once again about the event at www.brianscotlive.com/event-november. And welcome to the Reality Revolution. Hello, it's Brian Scott. And I'm beyond excited to finally announce a live, in-person, 3-day event that I'm hosting in Los Angeles on November 21st through the 23rd. And when you walk away from this event, your life will be changed forever. Whatever it is that you're looking for right now, if you need to heal from something, to find the love of your life, to find wealth, to find your purpose, to ascend, to evolve, whatever that is, whatever your desire, this event is designed to bring that to you. There is a timeline available for you where you can live the very best life that you could ever imagine, where everything is always working out for you. And this event is designed to shift you into that reality and make it something tangible and real that you experience. I promise you that this will change your life.